the people still want to see Tyson against Joshua. Yeah. This is what we want to deliver to the market. And we close a lot of things about this. We have also Joshua and Tyson Fury this year. We don't choose the place until now. I tell you from the beginning, it's depend about if England give us all what we need. We want the fights here in England, but we want the time zone and the time zone of all the world, especially in America also. If they allowed us to have Wembley.
Turki Alalshikh has confirmed there will be no rematch clause for Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, while also revealing a major update on the planned Wembley venue. Reported by Mike Coppinger, Turkey says England remains the target, and the fight may start later at Wembley to attract a bigger United States audience.
Do you have any more info on that? Are you still the promoter?
I have all the info.
Will you be promoting the fight?
See what Turkey says in the peace summit.
Do you think that there would be an issue if it's in Las Vegas as opposed in England, where I think a lot of boxing fans might want it to be?
Well, like I told you guys back in Bournemouth, I know where it is. And never did I say it was in Las Vegas.
Many in the boxing community still believe the fight will take place in Las Vegas, but Dana White insists he knows the venue and confirms it will not be Las Vegas. To make things even more interesting, Turkey's recent peace summit raised eyebrows as Simon Jordan questioned why Oscar De La Hoya was absent and weighed in on Dana and Nick Khan's agenda.
Look, ask Oscar De La Hoya, who wasn't at that meeting and who represents a lot of American boxers. There's a big argument about what Turkey is doing in terms of the way that they feel they can contact any fighter they want and make any fights they want without respecting who those fighters might be signed to. Turkey is the intellectual capital behind what Dana White is trying to do, which is create UBOs, which is Unified Boxing Organizations that have one belt, one title for each weight class, and some will make the case that's a very good thing. At the same time as his organization, under the guise of Dana White and Nick Khan, are trying to restructure the Muhammad Ali Revival Act, which ultimately means putting it in line with the way that the fighters are paid in UFC, and see how that plays out. I mean, Eddie has constantly talked about the relationship with Turki Alalshikh. I told him 3 years ago, he can do what you do. He can do what you do.
While debate continues over the Muhammad Ali Act and its role in all this, Eddie has quietly expanded into talent management, exploring opportunities in other sports beyond boxing.
And one day along the line, you're going to be redundant in that perspective. And of course, what Eddie's response is that the expertise in the room is something he can't provide. I said, well, he's got the money to be able to do it, and now he's proving the case. Everyone defers to him. The irony of needing peace talks is that he creates the war, and then becomes the negotiator of the peace. It's like the tobacco. It's like if you look at the idea of the e-cigarette industry, the tobacco industry created all the problems that people have got from smoking cigarettes, and now they own all the e-cigarette companies, which is supposed to be a better solution to smoking. So there's the irony in this.
Yeah.
So look, I mean, Eddie is multifaceted. So boxing is not the predeterminant for the success of his business. You know, the darts and the snooker and other aspects. And he's also moved into talent management because he's now moved into other aspects of other sports. You saw him representing a rugby player.
As Turkey confirms there is no rematch clause, another major twist comes from Spencer, who claims the winner of AJ versus Fury will face Agit Kabayel next.
I wanted to see your face there, actually, because I don't think Anthony Joshua fan. He's a lovely fella, Anthony. But when he beats him, it's all lined up for Tyson Fury to fight Agit Kabayel, or for Anthony Joshua to fight Agit Kabayel. But Agit Kabayel and Tyson are big friends. But business, they both spoke to both of them, and they would both fight.
Yeah,
and that would be like, you know, that would sell out a stadium in Germany twice, 3 times over, because they're big supporters of Tyson Fury in Germany. I mean, I've been over there with him. It's mad. It's a madhouse when he goes over.
Speaking on the timing and venue, Spencer insists Wembley would be the perfect choice. He believes it would boost local businesses, benefit the economy, and satisfy the huge demand from British fans. Brown also says Turkey has earned the right to make the final decision because he is funding the event and bringing Netflix into the project.
Really, it should take place in London with the 2 guys coming from England.
Correct.
But is that one of the main problems, that it's all about the time because of the global scale of this?
Correct. Don't forget, Netflix are putting in a lot of money here.
Yeah.
Turki Alalshikh's putting in a serious amount of money. But if we were to look at how much money would be brought into to London and to Wembley and to local businesses and the taxation on everything, how much more it would, just the government giving us an extra couple of hours.
Yeah.
Events, you could put events on, you could do a lot more. And the local area would there'd be queues everywhere for every kind of food, every sort of food.
But while excitement keeps building, not everyone is convinced the fight will actually happen. Johnny believes nothing should be taken seriously until both fighters stand face to face at an official event. According to Nelson, every announcement before that means very little. He admits his gut feeling tells him the fight may still fall apart, and urges fans not to get carried away by speculation, but to wait for the real confirmation.
My gut instinct is, even before the fight, when Turkey said there's a big announcement, I said, unless you see both fighters face to face and say it, they're fighting each other, this fight is not going to happen. No, it will happen. I said it won't. And all the times I decided the fight's happening, when have you ever heard both of them in the same day or the same week say, yeah, we're on, it's sorted? The fight was almost happened, then it didn't happen. I said, so unless he gets in, don't get carried away with it. Bullshit. And so I don't think it's happening, especially hearing what AJ said. I said, you know what, I respect that. You won't putting under pressure by nobody. And the words that came out, I'm like, he's half out, then half in. And he's trying to decide, do I want this?
Looking at their mindsets, Simon believes Fury is driven by instinct, while Joshua is guided by class and composure. As Fury thrives on chaos and mind games, AJ stays calm and avoids unnecessary drama. Whatever happens next, one thing seems certain. The build-up promises to be explosive, with Fury expected to do everything possible to get inside Joshua's head before fight night.
You made a point earlier on, and I picked up on it, and I want to ask you about it now. You think Fury's going to ruin him verbally in the build-up?
Oh, without a doubt.
When you look at, I think when Anthony Joshua conducted himself in the conversation when he was basically saying, I'm the landlord, whilst I disagreed with the premise of it, I thought it was very cool and collected and assured, and Fury was doing his two-penneth bit, right, and doing whatever he does.
So AJ's got some class about him.
Yeah.
Fury's got some gutter about him. He'll say some stuff, and he'll get low and dirty. He'll say and do everything possible. And Fury loves that. He feeds off that.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
When he's got nothing to bounce off, that's what he couldn't bounce off Usyk. He couldn't bounce off Dylan White. He was a bit more humble in his approach. With Anthony Joshua, he knows mentally, I can get to you.
I think that's how he'll do it.
Before the super fight can move any closer, the planned warm-up bout has become another major obstacle. Keith, Prenga's manager, believes Joshua has made a huge mistake. He argues that whenever heavyweights overlook dangerous opponents before a blockbuster clash, their biggest plans fall apart. Sullivan is convinced the same will happen on July 25. Prenga will shock AJ and end the Fury fight before it even begins.
When you have a mega fight like Joshua versus Fury, I don't think either one of those fighters, I don't care what's going on in their personal life, I don't care how much time they've had out of the ring or fights against non-tough opponents, a YouTuber in Joshua's case, you get right into that fight. The marketing value is just too big to run the risk. And I really think Joshua's team made a miscalculation here in lining up Prenga, a relatively unknown heavyweight, admittedly, a guy who has not been on the world stage, but a guy who's got a tough right hand, a guy who's durable, who can hang in there, and he's going to steal the thunder that night, shock the world.
While Turkey has ruled out a rematch clause for Joshua against Fury, Keith claims the situation is completely different with Prenga. He insists Joshua has a rematch option if he loses the warm-up fight, proving that one result could change everything. Sullivan believes once Prenga defeats AJ, his focus will shift toward facing Fury, instead of giving Joshua a second chance.
If that does happen, is there a rematch clause, or would you look to get the Fury fight on if Christian wins?
If it happens, we're going to look, you can see the giddiness coming across my face. We would look to fight Fury. There is a rematch clause, but I just think if Joshua doesn't win this fight, he's finished. It's over for him.
Joshua's return continues to divide opinion, and Carl believes the Fury fight is nothing more than a massive payday. Frosch insists AJ is already past his best, and says facing Fury would mark the final chapter of his career. He argues Joshua has looked finished for some time, even pointing to the Jake Paul event, where he feels AJ failed to create the impact and presence many fans expected from him.
So after the fight, Anthony Joshua did his interview with some gimp in the ring and said he wants to fight again. Said he wants to fight Tyson Fury. I mean, I did say to Eddie Hearn a couple of days ago, he's going to fight Jake Paul, make the readies, bad for the sport, but done what he's done, and then he's going to fight Tyson Fury and make even more money. Then he's going to retire because he can't fight for a world title again. I won't put him back in with Daniel Dubois. I won't put him in with any bona fide world champion. You've got Ajit Kabiel hanging around and you've got some fighters now coming through. You can't put AJ in with these guys. He's been out the ring 15 months. He just had a move around with Jake Paul and he looked like he struggled a bit. His timing was off. He looked a bit nervous. He got it with the odd shot. I'm not going to give AJ any stick because he's been out the ring that long and Jake Paul came in and is throwing shots and had a go, but
according to Frage, the occasion will still draw huge numbers, yet the clash no longer carries the same sporting significance because it should have happened much earlier. Frage believes the huge demand will still fill Wembley, but insists the timing has robbed the fight of its peak value. He also argues that once AJ faces Fury, there will be nowhere left for his career to go.
AJ really should have got Jake Paul out of there in 1 round, 2 rounds maximum, and he didn't. The fight with Tyson Fury would still sell. It's still interesting. It's Tyson Fury and AJ. I think it's Manny Pacquiao Mayweather. It's too late. It's Khan Brook. Amir Khan, Kell Brook. It's too late. But if it happens, it'll be a big fight for England. And then what I said will come to fruition. I'll be vindicated.
Looking at the planned warm-up fights, Eddie believes they serve a bigger purpose than just the opponent across the ring. He admits it is encouraging to see Fury preparing for another 12-round contest after the demanding Arslanbek Makhmudov fight, even if he feels there is not much left in the tank. At the same time, Hearn says staying active in camp is far more valuable than sitting out while waiting for the blockbuster clash.
To wait another week, but I think one thing we know for sure is we can't, there is no point in trying to predict or control what Tyson Fury does. I think it's quite kind of flattering for AJ that after 12 rounds against Makhmudov, Fury feels like he needs some more rounds, right? If AJ was such an easy touch, I don't think necessary, but he's another guy. He wants to be in camp.
Yeah.
He don't want to be sat. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure he loves 3 or 4 weeks at home with a family, but then he's going, I need to go back into training camp. So I get it. I respect it. But we can't control what he does. So I'm sure his opponent will be probably of a lower level than Makhmudov, to be honest with you, because it'll just be rounds. But it will be an extra week of nail biting.
Yeah.
Dismissing Carl's concerns about Joshua having nothing left, Eddie insists he is seeing a completely different picture behind the scenes. He says AJ is fully focused and ready to stop anyone standing in his way. Hearn also rejects the idea that this is Joshua's final chapter, revealing the plan includes beating Prenga, then Fury, before chasing 3 more fights and becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion in 2027.
This is the first time I've heard AJ talking about 3 fights down the line. He's saying, I'm going to knock Prenga out, then I'm going to knock Fury out, then I want to be world champion in 2027. Normally he doesn't say that, so he feels great. Like you said as well, you never really know till you get in there.
Yeah.
You never know till he's getting those gloves laced in the changing room, how he really feels. When everything comes flooding back, all that emotion comes flooding back. So that's why this is a really tough test, this fight. It's not, I know that on paper we should be beating this guy, but with everything that has happened, it's just a case of everybody crossing their fingers and saying, let's go and do the business.
And Eddie, that's what people must appreciate with this one, people that criticise the opponent or whatever else.
Speaking about Joshua's motivation, Eddie says the only focus right now is getting past Prenga and insists AJ is training harder than ever. He believes all the outside criticism will only fuel Joshua's determination. Hearn also dismisses complaints about the opponent, pointing out that despite starting in kickboxing, Prenga owns 20 professional boxing wins, many by knockout, making him a dangerous test before facing Fury.
And also, when these guys fight AJ, they train 3 times harder, right? He knows Prenga, if he wins this fight, he's changing his life forever. And also, you got people around you that are pumping in your head, AJ's not the same. He's coming off this, he could still be injured. Mentally, he won't be the same going into this fight. And it just lifts the opponent. I mean, this guy is a former European kickboxing champion, which I only just found out, which I weren't very happy about after what we saw in Egypt. But it's the difference between this guy and Rico is this guy's had 20 fights, 20 wins, 20 knockouts. So he knows what he's doing. He can punch and he knows his way around the ring. And this is heavyweight boxing. So we've got to be 100% focused, as I'm sure he will be, and just get this job done.
At the same time, Fury's next opponent has already attracted criticism. Wade Clemens believes the matchup is not a real preparation step for Joshua, or a meaningful camp fight. He calls it a disappointment, arguing both Fury and Joshua should have gone straight into their showdown without warm-up bouts, because the opponents do not meet that standard. Clemens even hopes Watch can shock everyone by stopping Fury.
I'd have been like, all right, Fury, that's a dangerous fight. You want to know what'll get you prepared for AJ? That. This is not getting prepared for AJ. This is having another camp to go in and squash a guy. If he would have fought a Jigba, I would have been like, all right, bro, respect. Same with, by the way, same with AJ. Those are dangerous fights, but that's why boxing gets this reputation of best not fighting the best. It's true, because they'll go and do shit like this to prepare for the best. You know how people prepare to fight the best in MMA? By fighting the guys on the way up to fighting the best. Not to make this a boxing versus MMA thing, because I know we do that a lot, but it's like, that's how you get prepared for a world championship. That's how you get prepared for fighting the best guys, by fighting the guys that determine who's the best guy. That's always been the way it's been. Dude, I hope he just flatlines. No, I don't want to see anybody flatline. I hope he knocks out Fury.
Showing his frustration over the situation, Wade insists boxing will learn a painful lesson if Joshua versus Fury does not happen. He imagines a scenario where Prenga stops Joshua and Watch shocks Fury, destroying the anticipation around their clash. In his view, the sport must understand that delaying the fights fans truly want can backfire, and promoters should prioritize the biggest matchups before the opportunity disappears.
I hope he knocks out Fury, just so boxing can get a taste of, once again, another taste of their own medicine and let everybody down. Because this is just not needed. There was no reason for it. Makes absolutely no sense. Just when you think boxing's kind of turning the corner with the idea that the best are going to fight the best and that we're going to see some spectacular stuff in the year to come, we get this, and we get Usyk versus potentially Deontay Wilder. Now again, I'm not as against Usyk and Deontay Wilder because it's one last fight for a retirement. He did vacate all the belts. Okay, go do your thing. As much as I wish it was the Verhoeven rematch or something like that, whatever. This shit just sucks. This sucks. And there's no reason for it. Y'all remember this though?
With uncertainty surrounding Joshua versus Fury and concerns growing over delays caused by warm-up fights, Kell Brook offers a different perspective. He believes negotiations are still moving forward, and Fury facing Wach is not a major issue. According to Brook, this could simply be Fury's way of finalizing the Joshua deal, adding another angle to the ongoing debate around whether the blockbuster clash will finally happen.
You know, it's Tyson, innit? You know, he can do what he wants, and the fact is, you know, I don't know the ins and outs, obviously negotiating with to fight AJ, and he's like, you know, he's just like, you know, let's just make a fight meantime, you know. So, you know, there's no slagging from my end, you know what I mean? He's keeping himself active, he's training, like, you know, he's got someone who wants to, you know, to beat Fury. So why not, you know, why not just have that as a little tune up? We know that he's not no world beater, you know, get that done and hopefully get the AJ fight.
Despite Fury's long layoff and his struggles against Makhmudov, Kell believes facing Joshua would still be a serious challenge. While he admits there are reasons to favor Fury and expects many to back him, Brook highlights Joshua's athletic ability and devastating knockout power. He believes that one clean shot from AJ could completely change the fight and potentially overwhelm Fury, giving Joshua a real chance of securing the victory.
You know, this is my sport, you know, like, you know, I can't really say who I want to win, you know, whoever wants it the most, whoever gets the win deserves the win. You know, who I think's going to win the fight, in my opinion, is Tyson Fury. You know, I just think that he's more natural. You know, he's done his boxing. You know, he could walk, and I just think that. But at the same time, you know what I mean, if you probably ask me closer to the fight, you know, because AJ's got that 1-2 them straight shots, an unbelievable athlete, you know what I mean, and Fury's, in my opinion, not looked.
Even with Turkey confirming there is no rematch clause, many still believe one could eventually be added if demand becomes impossible to ignore. Shane reveals Fury's long-term plan is simple: beat Joshua, then chase Alexander Usyk, despite the titles no longer being on the line. He believes their unfinished rivalry still carries enough history and public interest to headline another blockbuster event.
Really what Tyson wants is, I think, fight with Joshua, win that, and the Usyk fight, which is makeable and doable, you know what I mean? Because Tyson is the money man in the division, and anyone who fights Tyson gets paid well, and vice versa. So yeah, that would be the fights that I'd want to see if Tyson stays around in boxing, providing you know, if the first fight's a good fight with Joshua, there might be a rematch, it might be a public demand, right? Oh, it was a brilliant fight, let's see it again. But if it's a one down smashing, it might not be.
But another major factor is whether fan demand will actually influence the final decision. Speaking about the venue, Shane believes the choice ultimately belongs to the man funding the entire event, Turkey. He suggests Fury already knows his preferred location, but is keeping it private. While the venue remains undecided, Shane says the business side also matters, leaving Turkey to balance public demand with his own vision.
I tell you how I sit with that, man. Mixed thing with that. It's really not down to anyone. It's down to the man who's giving the money, and what they've agreed with. Now I know what Tyson's agreed, and that obviously we're not going to go there, but it's down to the man who's putting it on. If he's giving you £50 million, he can put it on the moon if he wants, because that's what it'll be in the contract and so on, whatever it is. So it's down to whoever's putting it on, and where it will make most financial gain for the man who's putting on to try and get some of the money back. You'll never get the money back what he's given, because it's a premium, but it's about what makes more sense to him once he's put it on. So if the man's paying for it.
The Joshua versus Fury saga continues to create chaos, from venue doubts and warm-up risks to rematch debates and career-defining pressure. With Turkey making the final calls and both fighters facing major tests, the road to this blockbuster remains unpredictable. Stay locked in, share your thoughts, and subscribe for more boxing updates.